All right. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, look, it's
Can
all
you hear
three
me?
of us again. Yeah.
Alan, we missed you.
Yes. Devon, I miss your hair. Uh,
I miss my hair too. It's weird.
did you have the haircut
Ugh.
last week too?
I got it Saturday.
Okay.
For no real particular reason. I'm just like, I need one now.
Yeah. The man bun was getting to be too much.
It was too much upkeep.
Yeah.
I almost drowned myself in shampoo this morning because I don't quite have this calibrated yet. It's great. Good times.
That's always the sign. That's always the sign for me of when I need to get a haircut is when I'm using like a hand, like I have to use like the full of length of my
Yep,
palm
yep.
to fill with
Yeah.
shampoo. It's
You
like
need like
okay, it's time
all
for a
of the
haircut.
hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was like two handfuls at one point. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is too much.
Yeah. Um, shall we begin?
Let's do it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the final You Have to
Yep.
Watch This podcast. I'm Alan.
Ah,
April Fools!
I'm Devon. You got me.
Yeah, I gotcha. Today we're gonna no more pranks. We're gonna get a little bit silly here, talking about the film The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, a film that Devon had never seen. But before we get into that, we like to talk about things we watched in pop culture, and I don't think anyone watched anything over the last week.
Nothing we didn't already talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're
nothing
gonna
new.
we're gonna talk about me living the pop culture, guys. I got stories to tell.
Ugh.
Last Friday, I had the honor of going to GalaxyCon in Richmond, Virginia, and I got to meet a lifelong hero of mine. I got to meet Weird Al Yankovic, guys, and
So jealous.
I got a selfie, which I sent you guys. I sent you guys a
You
selfie.
did.
I actually have three.
Yes.
I sent you guys the best
Did you
one.
send us the good one or the two bad ones?
I sent you the good one.
Oh, can I have the bad ones?
I mean, they're all bad because my arm is like doing this weird thing in the photo, which I didn't realize. And but yes, I got
Just, like,
to
have it
meet.
dangling
I
like
got to meet Weird Al, and I got his autograph. I didn't show you guys the autograph.
No.
I have it here. Hi, Al.
Yes, it's on even worse.
Yes.
Oh, Alan, it's so cool.
So
Ugh.
the first thing that Devin said
Sure.
when I sent the selfie in the group chat was, "Tell me all about it." And I was like, "No, we need content for the show." So now
me all
I will
about it
answer
now.
I will answer all your questions about it and tell you all about my experience meeting Weird Al.
What does he
So.
smell like?
Wait, what?
Scotch.
Oh, no.
Um,
Poor guy.
Yeah. No, I didn't get that close. I also had like a
Sure.
sinus infection thing going on still, so I couldn't really smell.
Fair.
So I went to the con like half deaf because my ears are still clogged up, which is like the best way to do a con because you don't get overstimulated by the sound of everyone there. So that was kind of nice. But no, I don't know what Weird Al smelled like. But I got in line and I'm standing there. I could just see Weird Al between people checking his phones. Like this is weird. Like just seeing Weird Al checking like Instagram and whatever,
Yeah, just
checking his
being
emails.
normal. Normal
Yeah,
Al.
being normal. It was bizarre. But I got up with my album and he started signing it. I was like, okay, I have like 2 minutes with Weird Al. What do I talk about? I
Yeah.
asked him a question I've always wanted to know the answer to. I asked him, is there more to Homer and Marge, or is what's in the episode everything that was written for the show? Like written for that parody.
What a very specific
It was.
question.
And I think he
Yeah.
appreciated it because he's like, everything that we wrote was for in the episode. I did.
Wow.
He did tell me, he's like, I did write a John Mellencamp parody years before that, like back in the 80s, and he said no because he's John Cougar Mellencamp. I was like, that's
Right.
fair. But I talked, but like as he's signing the thing, I'm like, I grew up on your music. The Food album was my first album, and like that's where I got started. And he's like, that's a great place to get started. And and it was amazing.
Oh,
So
that's so cool.
Really
Was
cool.
he? It wasn't one of those "Don't Meet Your Heroes" thing.
no, it wasn't. It was
Good.
worth every penny that I paid,
Oh,
and a steal, an absolute
Yeah.
steal for an autograph and a selfie. Like it was one of the best prices you could pay there.
that's so cool. So, I have a genuine question. I was thinking about this over the weekend after you sent the selfie. How many heroes do you have left to meet? Because like you did Shatner last year, you have Weird Al this year. I'm assuming you have a couple more, but like you're getting through them, man.
So of the people I want to meet at a con,
Mm-hmm.
Val Kilmer, but he doesn't really do cons
Ooh.
anymore. I don't know. How about you? Who would you like to like meet and like get a selfie with at a con?
Weird
And,
Al
like, Weird
is
Al,
a big
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Jack Black is another big one. I mean,
Okay.
I've seen him, but like, I didn't talk to him. I would love to talk to him. Michael Keaton is way, 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 way up there.
Oh yeah.
J.K. Simmons, and lastly, my boy Patrick Warburton.
Okay. Ryan, how about you?
Uh, it's kind of a mixture of different people from like different aspects of things, but like,
Yeah.
uh, there's the reason why I'm pausing is because I'm having like just like a whirlwind of like different people is like coming up. So
Yeah.
like some of the names, like I would like to meet Patrick Stewart, but
Mm-hmm.
so LeVar Burton,
Okay.
Oh yeah, good choice.
because he kind of spreads over some different things.
Yeah.
So LeVar Burton, Christian Henderson,
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. Thank you.
There you go.
That name
Yeah.
was getting all like crossed in my head. And then Ozzie Smith. Like those are like the top three guys.
Okay.
And I've gotten a
Yep. Keep going.
yeah, and I've gotten like the closest I've gotten so far is with Ozzie Smith. My wife got went on Cameo, and he did a like happy birthday wish video for me. Like I don't know, I think like 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah.
And
so
it's
cool.
still something that like I have it on my phone, I have it on my laptop, I have it on a flash drive. Like,
Gotta save that. Yeah.
yeah.
In the chat, friend of the show Bill says he would like to meet the cast of Heroes. Evidently. No, for me, the other ones are like the cast of The Simpsons, but they make so much money that they're never gonna have to do cons.
Fair.
And then Patrick Stewart's up there. Ewan McGregor
Ooh,
would
yeah.
be cool. I think the one that the big one that I'm never gonna get is Jason David Frank from Power Rangers. So,
Right.
but
Mm.
Amy Jo Johnson, I think that'd be cool. So,
A good one. It's also a
Yeah.
solid one.
Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi, like anyone
Yeah.
from those like that franchise, except for James Franco, like not him.
Maybe we don't. Yeah. Maybe we don't need that one.
Yeah. So I dressed up I went for 2 days. I
Mhm.
wore the Hawaiian shirt on Friday for Weird Al. And it was funny because you could tell whoever was meeting Weird Al because a bunch of them just wore Hawaiian shirts. It's like, okay, that
I was gonna
guy's
say it's
going.
probably all Hawaiian shirts.
I saw one guy
Yeah.
cosplaying as Weird Al.
That's
I saw
cool.
one guy who just looked like Weird Al. But I cosplayed as Pizza Time Peter Parker on Saturday.
It's very cool.
and I took my niece with me, and so her and I were walking the floor, and every time somebody was like, "Hey, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, that's awesome," I was like, "Pizza time." Every time, my niece got so fed up with me saying pizza time. By the end of the day, she's like, "If you say pizza time one more time, I swear." I was like, I just looked at her, I was like, "Pizza time."
That's the only answer to that. That's the only thing you can say.
So,
Aw.
It
You
was a good
officially
time.
landed as fun Uncle Alan. Good job.
Yep. Well, she was calling. We were playing Among Us the other week, and she was like, "Uncle Dude," and I was like, "Okay, if that,
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be
I'm fine
Uncle
with
Dude.
that.
I'm fine with that." Didn't meet any other celebrities. I did see Vincent D'Onofrio on a panel when I walked by the main stage, so I snapped a picture of him. I wanted to get a selfie with him because he has his head shaved for Kingpin right now, but that didn't happen. Devon, you'll appreciate this. I wanted to get a photo with Jonathan Frakes and just send it to Chad's wedding party group chat.
Oh, can you pay him to ask you a question?
I
is that,
wanted
like,
to.
something you could...
I wanted to.
Oh,
It
man.
wasn't an option. I probably would have had to ask in line. So, but yeah, it was a good
Man.
time.
Sounds like a blast, man.
Yeah, it was a blast. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Any other questions about Weird Al?
Does he age ever?
Do you want the real answer?
Yeah.
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 He's like balding a little bit.
Oh, because he looked
and
incredible in
gray.
the picture that you took.
He-
Like, maybe
he-
it was at a great angle, but...
He looks great. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's starting to. Yeah, I mean he's
yeah.
yeah.
I
But still,
wonder if at some point he's just gonna do like a post and he's just completely bald. When he actually starts to lose it.
Yeah.
Like, I really wonder if some point he's just gonna do that and then just grow out like a giant mustache or something, and just have a giant white mustache or goatee or some type of facial hair.
I'd be all right with that.
Mutton chops. There we go. Bald
Yes.
Yeah.
with giant white old man mutton chops.
Perfect.
All right, shall we begin today's main topic?
Let's do it.
All right, so today we are talking about the. I lost all of my notes. We're talking about the 1988 film "The Naked Gun" from the Files of Police Squad. Pop quiz, Devon. What is Police Squad?
I have no idea. I was going to ask you guys. Zero idea. I didn't even know that was a subtitle on it until I literally played the video.
Ryan, do you know what Police Squad is?
It was a TV show.
It was a TV show. Yes. This is a sequel movie to a 6-episode TV show that bombed.
Was it like as funny as this?
I don't know. I've never actually seen the show, but it was the same creative team behind it. It starred Leslie Nielsen. It was directed by Zuckers and Abrahams. Like it's the same people. It was on CBS. It lasted for 6 episodes. But yeah, it had John. It didn't last long, but they got 3 movies out of it. We're going to be talking about the first one, starring Leslie Nielsen, Priscilla Presley, Rikato Montalban, and O.J. Simpson.
Boy, was I shocked at the opening scene.
Yeah.
No one warned me.
Surprise!
Ah, there was also another surprise in this one, too.
Yeah. So this is a film I realized watching this on Paramount Plus. I've never watched this unedited. I've only ever seen like bits and pieces of this on like TBS.
Oh God. Oh, God.
Yeah. So I was not I'm glad I watched this for today. But this is like I've always known Leslie Nielsen as this role as Frank Drebin. I saw this character before I saw Airplane, before I saw Dracula Dead and Loving It. So this is what I knew him from. I choosing not to acknowledge Mr. Magoo. So that's where I know that's where my familiarity with this movie comes from. Ryan, how about you? Did you? I'm assuming you had seen this growing up.
Oh yeah. So this was one of the first uh there was a group of films. I've brought some of them to the podcast already. Like movies that were more adult, that were like more adult themed that my parents started to like show me as I was going from like kid to preteen. Um and I think this had to have been in the group of one of the first because I remember like when we moved to Bethlehem in like 93, I know that I had known and seen this movie. It might have been on cable. I don't think I'd seen the like unedited like version of it at that point yet. But I know when I was probably younger than what I should have been, I saw it unedited. Um, and this is where I know him from. This is where I know that actress from. Um, this type of humor, like around the same time of like seeing the Hot Shot, the both of the Hot Shots movies, this movie, like the Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs. Like this is where I get my like slapstick comedy like uh, reference from. And like the nonstop puns and like the gag in every scene. Like I like that type of stuff. Like I watched this movie last night and like I do every time, I laughed my way through the entire thing. Just because like every minute and a half there's something that makes me laugh. It's like,
Yeah. Devon, since you're the newbie here, what did you think of Naked Gun?
Yo, I loved this. Why did I not see this before? Like, I don't know what my family had against Leslie Nielsen, but like, I didn't catch any of his movies growing up. It wasn't a part of it. I love this. One of the big questions that I kept getting was, huh, that movie, what if it holds up? And the answer is an unequivocal yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think this movie ages very well. And I had an absolute, like, this is one of the first comedies that, like, I think that we've watched in a while where, like, I really actually genuinely laughed out loud, like, quite a bit.
Yeah, it's the jokes hold up. Like
Yeah.
what's great about it is it's not punching down. It's just it's wordplay,
Yeah.
it's sight gags, it's physical comedy. It's not like poking fun at anyone in particular. It's just it's silly. Like it's just fun. And I think that's what Leslie Nielsen's films at this point had become. Like this is where like Devin, you like this film? Surprised there were two more.
Good.
Yeah, and
Good.
then there's Spy Hard, which we don't really talk about, which is like the James Bond equivalent of these,
Oh, fun.
which we'll get to eventually. But yeah, like it's just silly, and one of my questions for you, Devin, since you're the one who hasn't seen this before, was there any moments in this you're like, oh, that's where that came from?
Yep. So there's two. I had at one point, maybe at several points, heard the nice beaver joke. Didn't know the context behind it. It was always just Leslie Nielsen going, nice beaver, and then cutting there, which
Yeah.
like makes that scene seem very, very, very gross.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the punchline that never got shown to me. And then I don't know how the hell I saw this, but at one point I saw the full body condoms. I saw that scene entirely out of context. Didn't even know it was from I genuinely thought it was like one of those SNL skits where they like have those like over the top product.
Yeah.
But like no,
Mhm.
it turns out it's from this movie. That was cool.
I practice safe sex. I do too.
I do too.
Uh, um,
What's the tip for in that? Why do you need that?
um, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to, Devon.
It's like the three shells. You know what? I should stop here. I learned my lesson.
Yes. Um, I always struggle when we talk about comedies to get into what we want to talk about. Like, what, Ryan, you grew up with this film. What is something that you always brings you back to this movie in particular?
Well, I mean, obviously the baseball stuff at the end, but I'm gonna try to stay away from that.
Okay.
You've got, yeah, you've got a lot of the sight gags, and like with, as an example, uh, Devon gets off the plane, and after he makes a fool of, but before he makes a fool of himself, talking into the mics, you see in the background the luggage just getting thrown out of the plane without a conveyor belt onto the ground. And then they top that off by right before they drive away, the car backs into the luggage train, and then drives off. But they don't show anything behind it. They show them drive off until they get to where they're going, and then you have like a good 5 minutes between them driving away from the airport and then them pulling up to where they're going, and the camera pans back and they still have the luggage train uh, attached behind them. So like whenever I see sight gags really in anything, it makes me think of sight gags from this movie. And anything that's over the top ridiculous, from a lot of the like Not Another Teen Movie or the scary movies that came out when we were younger, where you would have a ridiculous scenario where a character just gets like hurt over and over and over again before they eventually almost die. And that always takes me back to where O.J. Simpson gets shot, then burns his hand, then falls on the wet paint, then his hand gets pinched by the window, and then the birthday cake, and then the bear trap, and then he eventually falls overboard.
I love the idea of getting shot and then being like, no, not wet paint on this suit.
Yeah.
Like, this is maybe controversial, but maybe that O.J. Simpson's really good in this. I thought he was very funny in the parts that he was in.
That's not controversial, because O.J. Simpson, before this movie came out, was seen as like a media like darling almost. He did commercials. He was guest stars. Like he was one of the most successful from like athletes to pop culture people, just in general. And he was a good comedic actor.
Yeah.
His character in all three movies is hysterical.
Yeah.
And I would say he fits in the movie because he's just as good at it as everyone else. The problem is you can't help the fact that the person who's acting is someone completely different than who you're seeing on screen.
Wait, why?
Hold on.
What?
What? Did something
Guys,
happen?
did some...
What?
All I know is he sold that Bronco. Like he did that commercial for the Bronco, and then
It was a really long commercial too.
Yeah.
It was avant-garde, if you will.
They did a movie about it or a miniseries where he was played by Cuba Gooding Jr.
Ooh, that's the thing. Cuba Gooding Jr. That's it.
Yep, that's what ends your career right there.
Oh no. Can I follow up on what Ryan said though? I had a question about this because I was watching this movie, and so many of the gags work here. Like as bitter, jaded Devon, so many of those like funny, silly, stupid things work in a way that I don't think they work for me in like the scary movies or like, I don't know, like Meet the Spartans, right? Like, what is it about this movie that makes them work better here? Is it like the earnestness of the performances? Is it the setting? Is it the film style? Because I had a moment where I was laughing at like, you know, the full body condom, or of them like pushing OJ Simpson in a wheelchair off of the football or off of the baseball stadium. And like I laughed at that and I went, that's so stupid. I would have hated this in another movie. But like why did it work for me here?
I think what it is here, and I think we talked about this when we did Dracula Dead and Loving It, is here you have Leslie Nielsen taking it seriously. Like he's not in on the joke. He's not doing the performance to be silly. He's taking it seriously. He's Frank Drebin. Like he is that character. He's not playing it for laughs. When you get into like Scary Movie 5 and you have Charlie Sheen accidentally taking a bottle of Viagra, he knows he's playing it up for the camera. And it's even though it's the same writer and the same director, it doesn't work as well because you don't have them taking it as seriously as Leslie Nielsen does.
Yeah. So like I would put the one scene from this movie where the governor, no, where the mayor of LA, I believe, she's kicking him off the force and bringing up something that happened in his past where he killed 5 actors in the park because he didn't realize that they were doing like a Shakespearean park play, and all he saw was 5 guys stabbing someone else, so he shot them all in front of everyone. And his response was, well, you know, I see someone getting shot, I shoot. And like he's playing it straight the entire time. Yeah. Obviously it's a joke, but I would put that one scene over any part of any of the Scary movies. I would even put that one scene over some of them completely.
I wonder if that's it. I really
and
wonder
it's for
if
that reason.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because he's playing it so straight and they know they're playing like hamming it up for the camera.
Yeah, well, I think the thing like with the later Scary movies when it's not the Wayans brothers who was doing them, it was the Zuckers. Like the cast they bring in, like Anna Faris is still the good part in those because she's still playing it straight. But when you get Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan in there, it's like, okay, now you're just kind of hamming it up for the camera. It doesn't work as well because like like on paper, those scripts would work if you delivered the lines like Leslie Nielsen does.
Right.
Because there are elements of the Scary movies with Charlie Sheen that work. Like there's a scene where they're making fun of signs and he's talking to the sheriff, and her hat, the brim of her hat just keeps getting bigger and bigger to the point where she can't get into her car. That works because it's not like him, like he's not like they don't acknowledge it there. Like there are elements of those movies that work, but overall they just fall flat because it's just a straight up parody. Like this isn't really a parody also. Like that maybe that's something about it too, is like it's, you know what genre it's making fun of, but it's not making fun of a scene by scene film like those Scary movies are.
That makes sense. Well, and, I mean, I guess it brings me to like one of my favorite lines too. Like it's when he's at dinner or at the reception for the Queen, and one of them goes, Drebin, and one of them goes, Frank, he goes, you're both right. And like he's so serious about that, but like I can see a world where he's like, you're both right. And it's like a funny thing. And it's just that he's so deadpan about it that like that super worked for me. That got like a hearty belly laugh from me.
Yeah. My favorite moment like that is when he's at dinner with Priscilla Presley and he's like, girl, same old story. Boy finds girl, boy loses girl, girl finds boy, boy forgets girl, boy remembers girl, girl dies in tragic blimp accident over the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. Good year.
Yeah,
no, it's the worst.
Yeah. That's a really well delivered line. Like, that is so good.
Yeah, like it's really like it's hard to replicate that, and I guess I can bring this up at this point in the show. They're remaking The Naked Gun, and it's coming out this year. They remade it, yeah. Now let's talk about this. Who do you think could fill Leslie Nielsen's shoes as Frank Jeblin Jr.?
I know who I want it to be.
Who do you want it to be?
John Hamm.
John Hamm? Okay.
I want John Hamm.
You just want him to be doing Fletch in here.
Kind of.
Okay.
But it's kind of it.
All right. Ryan, any suggestions?
I forget his name.
Okay.
So please forgive me. But Malcolm in the Middle, Breaking Bad,
Bryan Cranston.
Godzilla,
Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
Bryan Cranston.
Oh.
Because he's got the ability to do the most ridiculous stuff and not break.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
that's
I'm going to tell you
why.
who they cast, and I want to get your reaction.
Okay.
Pamela Anderson. She's not playing Frank Jeblin Jr. She's in the movie.
Oh.
No, they cast Liam Neeson as Frank Jeblin Jr.
Oh, you know what? That might really work.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause-
Mostly because people are going to think, oh, they got Leslie Nielsen back. Like, just because the names are so similar.
So, Ryan, I think you gave me context to this, right? Wasn't like Leslie Nielsen up until this point like a dead serious action star?
well, he had done like serious roles in the past. When I was watching the movie, I decided to do some research on it. I didn't realize how much comedic stuff he had done before this movie. Like he had been in the comedic space for a while.
Yeah.
But another reason why I was doing the research was that I thought that I knew, put it that way, that he was in a dead serious cop show.
Yeah.
For a while, and like that's partly what he was known for. I couldn't find anything on IMDb, or at least doing a search at like 11:30 at night and not taking an hour's worth of time to do it because I wanted to get to bed. So I couldn't really find it. So I don't even know if what I thought was correct or not. But I do remember hearing several older family members tell me that like he did, like serious acting role stuff as long, so it was one of those things where it kind of like that helped out with people taking, like finding what he was doing so funny. But the fact that we don't have that context with it, like I've only known him as a comedic actor and it's still hysterical to me.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
like maybe that's not needed.
He's one of those actors that showed up on every show that you can name from the 70s. He's on MASH, he's on Mod Squad, Columbo.
Yeah. But he's not like a main character on any of those. I saw that on a lot of them. He was in like one episode, 3 episodes.
He was in 7 episodes of The Bold Ones, The Protectors, where he played Lieutenant Sam Danforth. So maybe that's where he was a cop.
Could be.
Yeah.
But he had like a lot of these are like serious roles. Like I'm assuming, he was in the out. Like, he was just a character actor, so he showed up. Like back in those days, you could just show up on shows, and people recognize your face, in things. I want to touch briefly on the baseball thing because it's a very tricky subject to talk about without Ryan, especially this time of year. Ryan just running away with it. But
you never know.
Yeah, when Leslie Nielsen died in 2010, ESPN published an obituary for Enrico Palazzo, writing a true Renaissance man. Enrico Palazzo umpired the game after performing the national anthem. Palazzo was the first and only umpire to eject another umpire from a major league game. He also believed to be the first and only umpire to use an upright vacuum cleaner to tidy up home plate.
I just absolutely love it. I also had a moment right when he was singing the national anthem where I'm going, hold on, is he singing that right? Is that is that the words? Like I didn't immediately go, oh, now he's singing wrong. It like took me a solid
Yeah.
like stanza or two to go, I don't think those are the words.
We get it, Devon. You live in London. Like
No, I just have never interacted with, even like in like LA and even before that, like I've never interacted with a national anthem other than like at an occasional sporting event you stand up.
yeah. Um anything else we want to talk about with this movie? I don't have much. Like I just wanted to have I wanted to have a few good laughs for April Fool's Day.
It was
So.
it, man.
Okay.
What I gotta know, what part of it worked better for you guys? Did like the puns work better? Did the sight gags work better? Did the slapstick work better? I mean, for me, it was puns all the way. Like anytime there was like a dry delivery of a pun, I'm in.
I mean, that's just me in general. I'm a very punny guy.
Yeah.
Yep. For me, it's a lot of the sight gags and not really puns, but just like one-liners
Mhm.
where they combine. So like when he's in the car away from the airport and he does the classic line that is in a lot of stuff of like everything reminds me of her, and they cut to the scene of the Los Angeles nuclear plant reactors
Mhm.
from the highway where like you just see the tops of them, and it's like stuff like that where they link the physical humor and the sight gags with the lines itself.
Yeah.
And they do that in a lot of the they do that in all three movies.
Mm.
Now I do have to say the second one is the one that that I remember the least from.
Okay.
Okay.
Devon, do you know what the sequels are called?
Isn't it 2.5 and 33 and a third?
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. I love the sequel names. Keep those coming, please. What's your favorite of these? Is this your favorite? It's to both of you.
I have to go back and rewatch. I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of all three, so I don't know which one's which. So I think I have two on VHS because I thought I had one that I was going to watch in my VCR in CRT, but no, I just had the poster instead. So
Yeah, it's still cool though.
yeah.
Yeah. My favorite is the third one.
Is it?
There's this he goes, just to give a brief example of what the third one is. Frank Devon goes undercover in the LA prison system as a prisoner. And to give you an idea of like the ridiculousness of that, when they put him in the cell, he's trying to act all tough. So like he's all quiet and collective when he's dealing with the guards, but then as soon as they close the door on his cell, he starts screaming about he starts screaming about prisoner rights, and he picks up a metal cup and he starts sliding it against the bars, screaming Attica, Attica, and which causes his like cellmates to come, to like find out what the hell is wrong with them. But there's another scene in that movie where they're breaking out of the prison and he's doing his monologue, and like his the noir type stuff, and he said, I believe the line is, and we came up and was it once we reached the end of the tunnel, we came up out of the sewer and probably the most dangerous place in LA outside of an LA prison. And then it pulls back and it's like a high school, like in front of a high school. And he says a inner city LA high school, and they come out of the sewer and they show a bunch of kids in front, a bunch of high school kids all dressed like really diversely. Like you've got like the brains and the, like you've got the brains, the losers, the preps, and all of them pull out Uzis and start shooting at them. That's yeah.
What I know about the third one is I listened to Peter Siegel on a podcast about a year ago where he talked about directing Tommy Boy and directing all these different things. He directed his first major film was Naked Gun 33 and a quarter.
Oh, wow.
And he talked about how Leslie Nielsen did not like him.
What?
Yeah, so it's a really like it'll be really interesting to go in and watch that and then listen to that podcast again. But I bring that up mainly because Tommy Boy just had its 30th anniversary yesterday. So had I done a little bit of research, we had been watching that instead for the podcast.
Yeah, the Weird
Yeah.
Al connection, like that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Exactly. Did you guys, Devin? Did you know
Yeah.
Weird Al was going to show up in this? Until
No
you
idea.
watched it?
No, I had to
Okay.
pause it and go back. I like rewatched the scene.
Did
It was
did
so
you,
good.
Did you pause it, rewind the scene, like Alan, that you clever son of a bitch?
Yes, 100%. I
Alright.
did. I'm like, you got to meet him. You got to meet him.
I gotta meet him. Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
jealous. Still
I was
bitter.
sitting here. I was looking at it, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was like, "Wait, I think Weird Al's in Naked Gun." And so I was like, I looked it up quick. I was like, "I know what my pick is." Like, so
I mean, he's listed like ninth on IMDb. Like that's
Yeah.
still pretty high for like the 3-second cameo he does.
Yeah.
well, they name drop him. So,
That's fair. That's fair.
and it was 1988. Like Weird Al was. What year was this? 1988.
Oh, that's so
So-
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that these movies do, though, that I really like is that they try to bring as many people in as possible that are like real to what they do. And this is as much as I'll get into the baseball thing, because I do want to go over this, because this was something that I looked up because I wasn't expecting any of what came across, because I have not seen this movie in a while. And I remember when was it Devon and I said that this is what we were going to be doing last week. I was like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to really hold up well or not. And it's because I was getting scenes from the third one confused with this one,
Sure.
Yeah.
and that's why. But one of the things that I really wasn't expecting was the amount of like the athlete that is under the mind control that's supposed to like assassinate the queen. That's Reggie Jackson. That's Mr. October. He is a Hall of
no way.
Famer.
Nice.
He is the one that set like he set the home single game home run record for in the 70s
Cool.
with hitting like I think it was like 5 or 6 home runs in one game. So he was a real player. And then, as you can probably imagine, every single one of the commentators, the guys in the press box, they are all Hall of Fame broadcasters in one sense or another. You've got one guy who was the play-by-play guy for the Angels at one point. That was in there. You had another guy who was a Cy Young Award winner that he did broadcasting after his playing career. You had one of the guys who had been broadcasting since like the 1930s. Like he started broadcasting in 1938, and he was still broadcasting in 1988. And I did the math. That's 50 years. So you've got 2025. That would be the same as someone starting broadcasting, I think, in 1975.
Something like that.
So, like, to give you an idea of like the time span that guy was like broadcasting for, and then one of them was, and the reason why I did this was because I think it was like one of the two guys on the end was Tim McCarver, who is a Hall of Fame broadcaster, and was on the Cardinals for 2 World Series teams. And was the main catcher for like a Hall of Fame pitcher that the Cardinals had during that time. So like they said his name, like, hang on a second, these guys are real? And then I went through because I was only half listening on the names, and I'm looking up all these guys. I'm like, I know him, I know him, I know him. And then you had the person at the end who was basically like the face of who's like the face of psychology for like 4 generations, pretty much. It was like
who
for
that
4
was?
different. She was, I'm blanking on her name now. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but like she was the one. She won a bunch of awards. She did like a newspaper column for a handful of decades. But she's the one that brought. She's the one that basically made mental health kind of mainstream. Like started to make mental health mainstream.
That's pretty
in
cool,
the
then.
U.S. In popular culture, and it was around this time in the like 80s that she started to actually take on roles that kind of like lightly poked fun at her,
Yeah.
and that's why she did the role in this movie, even though they didn't have her talk at all. It was just like, and her,
Yeah,
and
right.
and they named her, and I can't talk and Google at the same time, or else I try to
Well,
bring
you,
that
well, you
up,
get the
her
sense that
name
like
up again.
she was a gag, and that's what I was gonna ask because
Yeah.
I don't know her. Like, I think I might have heard her name before. Like, it sounded roughly familiar, but I didn't know her well
Yeah.
enough to like be in on the joke completely.
Like it was in the 50s when she became famous, and um it was Joyce Brothers,
Okay.
Joyce Brothers.
I know the name.
American, yeah,
Yeah.
American psychologist, psychiatrist.
Got it.
Yeah, and she's the one that basically like brought mental health to like the forefront. So it was cool learning about her too
It was very cool.
when I was doing all of this.
Nice.
But yeah, so like that, like I just like the fact that like a lot of the players were real players. The guys in the booths were very well known at
Mhm.
that time when it came to like any sport, because they grabbed
Yeah.
guys from like football, basketball, like hockey, even to like to uh to do that. And I'm really surprised that MLB was like, yeah, go ahead and do this, because like that was the Angels Stadium.
Yeah.
They like
actual
MLB
stadium.
was full behind this, and yeah, like it's like the Angels were fully Major League Baseball was fully behind this back then, and I don't think you would find that nowadays, especially
No.
with a movie that was probably made for as much as this was.
Yeah. I think the last time they were fully behind a movie was probably what? Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore.
What a what a pull, man. Were they behind the Brad Pitt one with Jonah Hill?
No.
Moneyball? No.
No.
No, they weren't. I mean,
Because I just say the Jimmy Fallon one because I know they filmed that during the Red Sox winning World Series. Because they talked about
yeah, like
I've seen him and
Right.
Drew Barrymore talk about that. So,
Right.
but
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
they've had some other movies, but yeah, like that's when it comes to a comedy like that, I'm surprised that MLB was like, yeah, no, we'll definitely let Leslie Nielsen do what he's gonna do in this script
Yeah.
in one of our uniforms.
Well, apologies to Ricardo Montalban because baseball talk took up all the time. We were going to talk about that. Con! No. No, I did want to say one of the things, thinking about it, I think one of the things that makes it stand out is because you had Ricardo Montalban playing the villain here, and he's not doing any, like, he's playing it deadpan the whole time. He really doesn't have any bits, no jokes. I think that's one of the things that helps as well. So, but
Hey,
that
he's a victim.
yeah. That's all I've got. So, Devin, are you going to go back and watch the next two in the series?
Well, I said earlier I have a preference for what Ryan has us watch next week. I
Okay.
really want it to be the second one. Ryan, is it the
We-
second one?
We just become a Naked Gun podcast.
It's not
and,
the second.
Oh,
It's not
darn
the
it.
second one.
That's a shame.
No.
It does have a play on the word two in the title, though.
Too Fast, Too Furious. We're doing it.
No.
Damn it.
Ryan, next week, what is your pick for the show?
Blink Twice.
I've heard of this.
Yes,
Okay, good.
The
Yes,
Channing
Good, I'm
Tatum.
excited.
It is, yeah. It's a movie with Channing Tatum in it. I was very surprised at how well this movie was, like how much I liked this movie. We are definitely changing gears hard when it comes to tone. I'm just gonna warn you guys now.
All right.
And for anyone out there that is planning to watch it as well, just be careful.
Yeah.
But not us.
So-
We don't have to be careful. It's everyone else that's
No.
You're fine to let us suffer.
Just-
Thanks, Ryan.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
There's just the movie gives you a hint before it even starts. So
Okay.
just go with that. Yeah.
So yeah,
I really
so-
want you guys to see it.
You know, I realized since we brought up Channing Tatum, one of the things I did watch over the last week was that 7-hour long live stream of them announcing the Avengers Doomsday cast.
You watched all of that?
I didn't watch all of it. I would just check in every once in a while to see who they announced and be lucky enough to see the chair move slightly to to the next chair. But that Channing Tatum, man, he's really about to make a name for himself.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him before. Good for him.
Yeah. But yeah. So join us next week right here on YouTube and Twitch for Blink Twice, a film that Devon and I have never seen. Hear our reactions right here next week at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can follow us on Instagram for more fun content. Like us on Facebook and listen to You Have to Watch This Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, for You Have to Watch This Podcast, I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
And hey, nice beaver.
Jesus. Oh, what a line. No, I'm dropping it there. We're not. Nope, I didn't just get it stuffed yesterday.